Hi, I'm Mike Coleman. I'm a developer advocate on the Falco project, and I want to talk a little bit today about what's new in Falco 0.37. The first thing I want to talk about is a new Kubernetes metadata collector. So the old collector actually had some issues around scalability and a few other things, so we decided it was time to introduce a new version. And what we've done is we have separated the metadata collector into two components. The first is a plugin, and the second is a remote collector. We feel like that architecture is going to allow for better scalability and overall a better end user experience. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how Falco installs its drivers. Now, with the release of Falco CTL 7.0, you were able to download and compile drivers using that utility. Now, with Falco 0.37, the actual Falco installation process will use Falco CTL as well. So Falco CTL will be the engine behind Falco's driver installation process. We'll be moving away from the Falco driver loader script. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is a feature that has been long requested by the community, and that is around 32-bit syscall emulation. The 32-bit syscall emulation has been available for a while in the kernel module driver, but it wasn't in our ebpf-based drivers. And now with this release, it comes to all three drivers. So both the kernel module, the modern ebpf probe, and the ebpf probe all support 32-bit syscall emulation. All right. The next thing and final thing I want to talk about is actually a change to how you manage rules. So previously we had a key, the append key, that was used if you wanted to adjust a rule that already existed. We are replacing that with the override key. And the override key will allow you to either append to or replace an existing field in a rule, a list, or a macro. So that's going to be a much more powerful combination. All of these features are well documented in the Falco release blog, which is up on falco.org, so go ahead and check that out for more details. Whenever you release software, there's always a chance that you're going to introduce a breaking change or you're going to need to deprecate a feature, and this release is no different. The first thing I want to talk about relates back to that discussion around Falco CTL and driver installs. We have removed the Falco driver loader script, so that is no longer used. Everything goes through Falco CTL, so that script has been removed. The next thing we want to talk about is plugins. Because we have the new metadata collector and it is plugin based, we are now moving all plugins out of Falco. So Falco will no longer ship with plugins. Plugins will be managed through falco.yaml as well as Falco CTL. A couple other things. I already mentioned that the append key was being replaced by the override key, so the append key is being deprecated. It still works today, but if you're using it, you're going to want to make a plan for how you're going to migrate away from that. Finally, a couple of things around command line parameters. Our Helm chart has changed, and the command line parameters that go with it have changed based on some of the changes in this release. So you want to consult the documentation to understand what those changes exactly are. And on the Falco command line, we no longer support the -K uppercase or lowercase parameter because we have this new plugin-based Kubernetes metadata collector. Thanks for watching today. If you'd like to get more information on these features and changes, be sure to check out the Falco documentation as well as the Falco 0.37 release blog up on falco.org. Additionally, if you'd like to join us, check out the Falco channel on the Kubernetes Slack as well as our GitHub repository, Falco Security. And of course, like and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified of any updates. Again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you really soon.